Hey everyone, welcome to today's webinar. My name is Isabel. I'm the Customer Support and Education Leader here at Pipefy, and I'm here today to present one of Pipefy's advanced features, email templates. For those of you who are new to Pipefy, Pipefy is an online process management tool focused on helping you manage your process and make them more efficient without technical knowledge or depending on your IT support. To help you do that, we offer several advanced features that enable to automate parts of your process to save time and increase efficiency. One of those features is the one I'm presenting to you today. Before we start talking about the email templates feature, it's important that we get to know a little bit about what email automation is. Basically, email automation is a business tool that enables companies to build relationships and structure communication with their customers without having to spend time manually sending hundreds of emails. What this tool does is combine content, customer information, and software to establish a flow of communication with the customers and a continuous presence in your email inbox. For example, when you order something from Amazon and you get an email confirming that your order was received, and then another email confirming that it has been shipped, and the last one confirming the delivery, those are automated emails. Another example is nurturing flows. So when you sign up for a newsletter or to receive updates from a website, those are very most likely automated emails as well. So the goal of email automation is establishing a communication without the hassle of sending hundreds of email manually. Pipefy's email automation tool enables you to create and set up templates to automatically send relevant information in specific stages of your process, helping optimize your team's time. So as I mentioned from Amazon's example, it would be like having a flow of your process, and every time something relevant happens, such as a card changing phases, you can send automated emails to let the interested people know what's going on with your process. In a nutshell, email templates are customized email messages you can create and set up to be sent from a specific phase of a pipe. The email templates can be sent manually by clicking a button inside of the card or automatically when a card enters or leaves a phase. We can't trigger sending emails right now using any other action. So the only way to send an email automatically is when a card is moved into a phase or out of a phase. But we can combine this feature to another advanced feature called automation to create different rules for sending out emails automatically. According to a research published by Livewire, most professionals send an average of 40 work-related emails per day. This activity of sending and responding to emails can take from 2 to 4 hours of work daily, which can amount to 20 hours per week. If we consider that the average work journey is 40 hours per week, it's almost half of your time. So it doesn't really seem worth it to spend all of your time spending emails, does it? We have gathered data from several teams that use our email templates and got to the conclusion that teams can save from 8 to 40 hours of work per week by setting up automated emails. This value varies because it depends on the amount of emails and the complexity of them. So both the content and the settings of your email templates can be static text. So you can just add plain text that's going to be sent exactly the same to everyone, or you can customize it by using dynamic content from your pipes fields and as well as other data. So dynamic content, we call it when we use a special code. I'm going to teach you guys how to generate it to use information from the fields in your card inside your template, such as your customer's name, their email, so you can use it in the body of the email to make it contextual. So add their name, add dates, add any other relevant information, and you can also use it when setting up the email so that the receiver of your email is going to be the email that the person filled in the start form. There's a series of situations in which automated emails can be used to improve the information flow in your process and the overall communication with your customers. The templates can be a very useful tool for keeping people that are not members of your process that have created cards via public form or email, for example, updated of the progress of their requests. Here at Pipefy, we use email templates for all our internal process, such as purchase requests, reimbursement, vacation requests, because those processes are they're public, their form is public, so everyone in the company can create cards in them, but not everyone is a member of those processes. So we could not keep track of our requests if we didn't get automated emails letting us know that our request has been received, it's pending approval, it's been approved, etc. In external process, email templates can be used in sales process. For example, as I mentioned, the Amazon example, to inform the customer of the status of their order, when it's received, preparation, etc., or in support or help desk process to confirm that the support ticket has been created and as it evolves through the process. I won't go deep into this explanation right now because I'll show it to you guys the practical examples in a bit, but basically what you need to know is that setting up email templates is a two-step process. First, you need to access the email templates section to create the email. You're going to create the subject and the body of the email in this part. And then, secondly, you need to access the settings of the phase where you want to send the email from to set it up and determine sender name and email receiver name, etc. Your email templates can either be plain static texts, so simple as it gets, or customized using HTML and Markdown to add images, hyperlinks, text formatting, etc. You can use all of these options to make your emails more interesting and attractive to the receivers. I'm going to show it to you guys in the practical examples how you can customize your emails to make them look like this. And you can also use dynamic content to use the information from your pipes fields in your email body and settings. For example, customer name, date of purchase, status of the purchase, etc. The dynamic content can be used in several different situations, such as using an email added to the form as a receiver email or adding the customer name to the text. Here's how this works. I'm going to show it to you guys in a practical example, but basically it's divided into three elements. So entity, property, and handlebars. The entity is what contains the property. If we want to use a short text field from our start form, for example, to add the customer name to the text, our entity is going to be phase start form. The property, on the other hand, is the information contained within the entity. It's the fields in the forms or phases, for example. So in our case, the entity is phase start form and the property is field customer name. And the handlebars are a unique value that should be copied and pasted where you want the dynamic content to be added or displayed. So if I said hello and I wanted to add the name of the customer, I just copy this handlebar here and paste it in the text. So when we send the email, it's going to replace the handlebars by the customer name. For our practical examples today, first we'll access our test pipe here. So this one here, to check out how we can create, customize, and set up email templates. The email templates, they're created specifically for a pipe. So in our case here, first we need to access the pipe to create the emails. To create a new email template, we must access the settings sidebar by clicking here in the gear icon in the upper right corner. It's going to open the sidebar and we're going to scroll down until we find the email templates option. If we were to create a new email template, we would click here on create new email template. But let's first open these two examples we have already set up so I can teach you guys a little bit about the structure and formatting of the email template. When we start creating a new email from scratch, first we need to give the email a name. The name is not really important for your customer. It's only important for you because you're going to use it when setting up the email in the phase. So this is internal use only. You just give your template a name so you can identify it. Then the subject, so this is what's going to be displayed in your in the receiver's inbox. You can make it static, so such as this one, test email template, or we could add dynamic content to it. For example, to say the customer name, the what has been requested in a purchase request, etc. Then right down here, we have the part where we added the email body. You can see we have a lot of information here already, but what you need to know is that we have a simple text editor here. So if you're not looking into formatting using code or anything more complex, you can just use this to add bold, italic, hyperlinks, quotations, images, etc. Down here, we have the preview. Some of the HTML codes are not previewed correctly in our preview window down here, but that's why we're going to send them to ourselves to check them out. And here we have the dynamic content generator. The dynamic content generator works, as I mentioned to you guys. So in entity, we choose the major aspects. So we can choose card, creator. If we were to use the creator, we could select name, username, or email. But let's look into our phases. So we have a phase start form, which if we want to look for the fields in our form, this is where we're going to click. Phase inbox, doing, and done. In our case, we selected phase start form, and within the property, what I selected here, so you can see hey, and there's a dynamic content here. This is a name field. So when we click here, we have property field name. So I just copy this value here and paste it within our text where we want the name in the card to be displayed. So there you go. This is the name. Um, so as I mentioned, we can use some HTML formatting. Let's zoom in a little bit here. We can use Markdown, which is a simpler formatting language, or we can also use HTML to format the text in our emails. Not all HTML codes can be used to format email templates, but afterwards I'm going to share it with you guys, a help article with all the codes you can and can't use. So here in our first test, you can see this first code here. You can see there's center and there's another code. So what we did here was add our logo. So this is our logo and it's actually centered. You're going to see it when we send it to my inbox. You can see it uh, in more detail. Down here we have another image. So uh, we can include here we have an exclamation point and then an alternative text between brackets, and between parentheses we have the URL of the image. Then down here we have age 1, age 2, age 3. These are all header formattings that make the text bigger or smaller. So age 1 is the biggest, then age 2, age 3, etc. So you can create a different sizes of text in your email. We also have other text formattings such as bold or italic, and we can also add hyperlinks to our emails. Down here, you can see that we have these icons, so the social media icons, and they're all they are all images with URLs, so they work like buttons. So in our email, when we click on this option here, when we click on Facebook, it's going to display the Facebook image and redirect us to our Facebook. Now let's take a look at our second example. I'm not going to get really deep into any of these formattings because they depend really on what you want to use your email templates for. So I'm just going to try to show you guys what you can do with formatting in the email template. So down here we can see we have different formattings. Let me expand the box. So we can do many different things. We can change text alignment, so it can be aligned to the center, to the left, or to the right. We can change the text background or the text color by using the style codes. We normally recommend that you use the paragraph tag, so it's the P here. You can properly separate your paragraphs. This is the text alignment, so text align right, center left, and justify. You can also use text formatting such as bold, italic, underline, crossed out, and marked. As I mentioned, we can use hyperlinks, so it's going to be clickable in our text. Uh, we can change the colors. We can have both ordered and unordered lists, as well as tables. When adding images, either static images or GIFs, we need to keep in mind that our template is 536 pixels wide. So we need to respect that dimension when uploading our image to get the URL. Otherwise, it's going to look weird in the outcome of the email. And we can also use tables. So you can see here that in the preview, it doesn't really show the table. So we're going to move on to setting up the emails so you can see how they look in the inbox. Now that we have created the email templates, let's move back to the Pipe dashboard here. So as I mentioned to you guys, this is a two-step process. First, we create the email and then we set it up. Ooh, I forgot to mention that this is the help article. I'm going to send the URL to you guys where you can find all the options on how to customize the email templates. So here it's in full detail, everything you can do with images, text formatting. So at the end of the webinar, I'm going to send the URL to you guys. So if you have any questions, they're probably going to be answered in this article. So after we created the template, we're going to click here. We want to set it up in our doing phase. So we're going to click the three dots next to the phase's name and click on edit this phase. So this is the second step of the process where we set up the email. Then we're going to scroll down until we find here the email templates option. We click on it to expand the menu and then click on set up new email template. So when setting up an email template, this is the list of the emails we have created, and this is the name I mentioned to you guys that was internal use only. So we're going to select test email template 1. Here in the from name, I'm going to add my name, same as my email. And the important part here is that when setting up your email templates, they're all going to be sent from our domain. So I could add any email here. So Isabel at company.com, at amazon.com. And then when the person gets the email in their inbox, this is the name it's going to be displayed. And the email that's sent, the message is going to be messages at pipefy.com. That's a standard for all email templates. This is the email that's going to be displayed when they hit reply. Then they're going to reply to the from email here. And for the to email, we're going to generate a dynamic content down here. So we're going to select entity phase start form because we want a field from the form. And the property is going to be field E. We just copy the handlebar and paste it here. I could, for example, add a dynamic content and then a static email and then another email. We could add as many emails or values separated by comma here as we want. So this can only be done in the to email. And in the settings, we have to establish whether we only want our emails to be sent manually. So this is a standard, we cannot uncheck it. And or if you want to send whenever a card leaves this phase or whenever a card enters this phase. In our case, it's going to be whenever a card enters this phase. So let's move back to our pipe so we can create a test card. So we come here and just fill in the card. There you go. I created a new card. Since I've set it up to be sent whenever a card enters the doing phase, I'm going to move it here onto the doing phase. And let's move back to the editing of the phase because I want to set up the second email. So to set it up, we click email templates and set up a new email template. And the second one we're going to send manually. So test email template 2, and then we generate the same dynamic content. This one's going to be sent manually, so I'm not going to check any of the other boxes here. And to send an email manually, we need to open the card in the phase where we set up the email template. So we're going to click here. We're going to open the card we have created. And here's the option email templates. You can see that we have already sent one email because that's the one that was sent automatically. So test email template 1. And then we click on new and then test email template 2. When we click on it, the email is sent. So we have sent, one was sent automatically when the card was moved, and the second one was sent manually. Let's take a look at my inbox here. Okay, so we have our two emails. This is test 1. So remember how I told you guys not the formattings don't always look the same in the preview. So this is how they actually work. The logo centered, the other image, header 1s, 2, and 3. This is the dynamic content for my name we have added. And the images I mentioned that are buttons. So these are it. Each one has a different URL they lead to. And then this is the other email where we have the background and text color, as I mentioned to you guys, the text alignment, so right, center, and left, justified, the formatting options, bold, italic, the text color, the ordered and unordered lists, the image, so this one has a link, so it's a button. We can also use so animated images, and the table. So right here, it's how it looks. Now we're going to take a look at a real life example by exploring our purchase process. Remember how I told you guys we use email templates in our purchase process here at Pipefy? So I'm going to open our purchase process we have here. And this pipe is not public to everyone in the company, but we want everyone to be able to create cards in it. So what we did was share the form. So we click on plus to open the form, then on share. And then here we have a public link where we can access our form. Let's open the form here. So let's suppose I'm not from the purchase or procurement department in my company, but I want to create a request for them. I can create the request via the public form, which is opening right now, but I could not follow up on my request because I'm not a member of the pipe. So the way we figured out it would be best for us to keep track of the records would be of the purchase requests would be to create email templates. So here I'm going to select my employee record and then what needs to be purchased and then just submit it. As right after I click on submit, it's going to create a new card right here. So new headset. When I open the card, I can see that we already have one email template that was sent. So I'm going to keep moving down our process so we can send all our templates. So I moved it to quotation, and then I have to put in the amount since it's a mandatory field to move it to approval. It's down here. Yes, we approve. The expected delivery date is important because it's included in an email. So I'm going to select the date here, move it on to purchase and delivery. So when we open our card here in delivery, this card here, we can see that we have 3 email templates that were sent. So one of them was sent in screening, the second one in approval, and the third in purchase. The different thing about the setting of these emails is that you can see that we don't have any email fields in our pipe. I haven't added any email fields, but I have an email here inside my employee record. This here is a connection field, and what we can do, let me open the screening settings here, is we can use the data from inside a connected card or a connected record from a database as dynamic content as well. So let me open it right here. So email templates, this is our email. And you can see that the two email, the handlebars has a different format. So instead of just phase field, it's phase field and another field. So in order to generate that code, we come on entity phase start form. And when we open a property, you can see that we have name, duration, and then we have a group. The group is our connection field. So we can use the data inside the, the record. So connected field name, email, department ID, test as a dynamic content in our emails. So let's move back to the pipe and oops, I'm going to show the emails to you guys. So moving back to the inbox, we have three different emails. So it has been received, pending approval, and has been approved. You can see that we have dynamic content in the subject here. So your purchase request for new headset has been received. Then we only have simple formatting here. We don't have a lot of information. So the request received, hello, the name from the record as well, what needs to be purchased, and the department. These info, so the email receiver, the receiver email, the name, and the department have all been used from the record. So you don't need to duplicate that information into the pipe, just to use it in the emails. Then when the request is pending approval, and it was when it's approved, remember the date I mentioned? So the date is right here, the delivery date. If you have any additional question or use case you'd like to learn more about, feel free to contact us via the in-app chat or writing to support@pipefy.com. Thanks again for joining. Have a great rest of your day.